Are we live?
We are live. How's everybody doing? How you doing, Gabe?
I'm doing fantastic. I hear an echo though.
Oh, you know what? Let me mute myself. Go ahead when you talk.
All right, let me make sure this is good. There you go. All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Power Play podcast. We are doing a quick live. Wanted to share with the people that were asking us questions on the chat groups and just DMing us, which we get pretty much every day now, which is really awesome. If you guys have any questions, we're happy to help. This is what we're here for. We want to give back to the community. Real estate has transformed my life for sure. And one of the niches that we are all good at, Marty, Mark, Ronnie, myself, is just networking, building community, and knowing how to really just go into the marketplace that you're in, no matter where you're at. Doesn't matter what state you're in, and really just start building out a network to help you build your business. I think one of the things that we hear a lot, and whenever you get started in real estate investing, is you're dropping cash, right? You're dropping money for marketing. You're dropping money for, I don't know, you got maybe a coaching program. You may have your spouse going, what are you doing? Why are you even doing this? What is it worth it? People lose so much money in this stuff, all types of stuff. And we talk to those people, we talk to you, and we definitely want to help and create value to where you can just help launch your business forward. So, Mark, how are you doing? And let's get cranking on this thing. I really want to go over this topic. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I can't complain. A little warm. Can't the what are we? August? What are we? August 10th, 11th? I don't even know how far into the month we are already.
Yeah, we're way into the month. We're halfway through the month.
Is your kids back to school yet?
Yes, they're ready. I'm ready. All right, so now that we're all set up, man, I don't know why I hear an echo.
It's when I mute it, you don't hear it. Watch. Go ahead.
Check 1, 2, 5, 8, 9er. Okay, that works out. Okay, so let's go over this stuff. So, guys, we are talking about finding off-market deals. Now, we're not going to go over just yet how to do the pay-per-click stuff. We're not going to go over any of the direct mail or the door knocking stuff yet. We wanted to hammer out creating a referral network that's around you. So one of the best people I know who has created an awesome referral network happens to be Mark Monroe, who does a lot of seller financing, creative financing, has helped me do multiple. I now do creative financing and seller financing and all types of unique stuff. So Mark, how would you advise a newer person? They get involved. Their spouse is now saying, what in the world are you doing? Right. And you hear multiple podcasts and everything else. And it's your shiny object into spend money, join my group, and you can be a multimillionaire also. What is the first thing that you would do?
Um, Network. Really get out there and start networking, and start building up your referral network. That's really what it comes down to. Like I can't remember last time I spent money on marketing to acquire a deal. It's been several years. I just I get a ton of referrals. That's where I get most of my deals from, and we'll get into the type of deal, the referral sources. But I would just get out there and network. Go to your local chamber counters, believe it or not, go to your local meetup REITs, and just start surrounding yourself with peers of like-minded people like yourself. And it also depends on what level of experience that you're at as well when you're out there networking. What are your thoughts on that, Keith?
Ironically, I had a friend of mine today, he might be listening to this, text me this morning. I'm on a sales call talking to us, actually a guy who's through our network is saying he's going to sell. He has about 15 doors that he's selling. So we're helping him disposition those doors. And so we're going through the stuff. I'm talking to him on the phone. And then a buddy of mine says, hey, there's a group going on in 30 minutes from now. It's right around the corner from where you live. I'm going to be over there. I don't know what it's about, but you want to show up, some small business owners and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know. Let me see if I have time. Well, lo and behold, I'm like, it's by a restaurant. I go there. I end up watching the presentation. Presentation was about AI marketing and how to involve your marketing and technology into your referral business and how to do follow-ups. And I'm like, wow. And then lo and behold, here we are talking about it. So it was really cool. So I got to learn that, and then I made a connection. And then someone else that was there was like, hey, I run across properties like this. Do you know how to is this what you do? And I'm going, well, explain the property. And it's exactly what we would buy. It's a seller or a homeowner that had it as a rental. Tenants destroy the property. They don't want to fix it up. They're going to be upside down if they go and do the rehab. And they're now, I'm going to go look at a property tomorrow, all based off of this thing, Mark. And you got to learn how to work a room. You got to learn how to network. But the reality is it's not a bad thing to get outside of your shell and to go, I just need to know where does my space, like, how can I create value in this area? And so I get a bunch of birds with one stone. I get to learn some other stuff, get to meet some other people that Mark and I are working on. Mark, you're working on some amazing stuff. But that is just an idea of one source of finding off-market deals. It is not something you want to hang your hat on, in my opinion. You need to have something that's more consistent, that's always coming in. And for you to do that, you have to cast your net pretty wide. So Mark, what is one of the ways that you're doing, like creating a referral network where people know? I mean, this is kind of an odd thing. Hey, I buy distressed properties, or I buy this, somewhat like, do you have a probate thing? This kind of sounds kind of weird, right? Or is there a divorce going on that around you? These things sound weird. So how do you create your referral network?
It's just getting to know the person individually and see how, educating them on what my buy box is, and how, and what's bizarre is actually I had a conversation today with somebody as well, right in my backyard, and we're talking about, we're seeing a little shift. She's starting to get some orders for broker opinions, BPOs. So obviously, if they're getting BPOs, the properties are getting ready to go towards the foreclosure process. So we started talking a little bit, and like, she only gets paid like $45 for the BPO. So I'm like, okay. So we're looking at, she's got a couple right now, where she's sending it over to me. We're looking at it and see if we can reach out to the seller and possibly, stop the foreclosure process, if you will. So that's just one example. It's just kind of getting out there and just kind of moving the network and just talking to people, letting them know what you're doing, what you're looking for. That's kind of it gradually over time and just build it up. I have probably over 600 referral sources that feed me deals. Some may get me, I may get one a year from one, or I could get, like last year, I closed 14 deals from one referral source. So there's so many different type of real, you know, let's get into it. You want to get into like a couple of like
Let's
the
do
referral
that.
sources? Okay. Um, let's talk about like Trashman. You know, think about that one. Why do you think a Trashman would be good for a referral source there, Gabe?
That makes total sense. I don't know if I've ever received a deal from a trash man before, but it makes sense because they're around the neighborhoods every day. Now I have from the next one, probably a mailman, right? Mailman, got a one from a mailman before.
Yep. And landscapers. I have landscapers, snowplow removals, people out in the community, contractors, um, Uber drivers, Amazon drivers. Just so I have a system set up. Like, hey, you know what? If you're out there, take a photo of this house. Send it to us. Send it to this particular email, and then my admin will take it, run from there, and just do all the skip tracing, run the due diligence, reach out to the people, and see if it's selling. So that is a referral source. So that's just another one. I mean, it could go on and on. I mean, just think outside the box of where you could go. Normally, I keep this last referral source, well, not last, but one of my home run referral sources. I usually kind of keep to myself, but hospice nurses.
I
Hospice
got it.
nurses.
I got it.
Yep. Yep. So I had one that I just closed not too long ago up in New England. It came from a hospice nurse. It was an elderly couple. You got to remember, They referred it over to me, so there's really not a lot of sales going involved. They referred it to me. What happened was it was an elderly couple. He's ill. He's been in hospice for a little while, and then she's elderly, so she can't take care of him that night anymore. So they had to move in with a daughter, and the daughter lived about 3 hours away. They reached out to me and see what I could do to help them. They've owned the home for 35, 38 years, something like that. So it was just too much for them to get the house ready to put on the market. When just so much. So I said, just take what you want, whatever you don't want, just leave behind. I mean, they left cable boxes, TV modems, holiday decorations, dishes. They left everything there. And I ended up getting that one on the seller financing. And with 2 months with no payments on it because it's taking me some time to get that property ready. And now I'm just wrapping it because they had no mortgage on the property. So I just did trade seller financing with a 7-year balloon. And what we did is we put the mortgage into a trust. So if anything happens to her, it automatically goes to the heirs of the children. So that's a form of a seller. That's I get a lot of really good deals through hospice nurses. I also
that's
go
really
ahead,
cool.
jump in. Go ahead.
No, that's really cool. I think that we do, and I say this a lot, but probate. And so, I mean, I think we just have there's just a lot of assets. A lot of the net worth type assets I have are probate derived assets. They came from the probate world where, for instance, if it was a tire landlord or something like that, not so much. Those homes are normally tore to crap where there's so much upwork or lift on it that kind of throws the numbers off a little bit. But the probate stuff, you got to think that someone who is, getting a house deeded over to them because it was their mom's or their grandma's or something, those homes tend to be in better shape over time because there's not kids running through the house all crazy or something like that, or there's not tenants that are destroying the home. They're there by themselves and they're taking care of the house, right? And so those are a little bit easier to do. And most of our portfolio has come from a probate, a single family at least, come from probate situations. And even some multifamily, like we have some tiny home park stuff and some stuff like that. They just couldn't maintain and keep up with the mobile home park because it's a lot of work, right? So that's an idea.
No, I like that. One came across my desk that it was the same thing. Mobile home park went through probate. The kids took it over and fell behind in property taxes. They haven't paid property taxes on it in 5 years, and now we looked at purchasing it, and we just didn't. It just needed too much work. The city now is taking it over, and the city is actually managing the mobile home park. Do you believe that one? So we may still do something and have the city kind of give us some money to kind of get it all cleaned up. And we're looking at possibly subdividing them into regular lots and then turn around and put double wides in because it is going to take quite a bit to kind of get that ready. So,
wow, that's cool. Okay, so how would someone going to go through looking for leads? And we see stuff on Facebook. I think Facebook's a really good place for single family to live, even though there's a lot of other things. You have TikTok. Mark, you do TikTok, right? Don't you do marketing through TikTok?
I do some stuff. I haven't gotten a lot of deals through there. I get more through Facebook, but I am starting to get some stuff there.
Okay.
And believe it or not, I have gotten some deals through LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, so there's LinkedIn. I think what is something that's different that you have to do on LinkedIn than you do on Facebook?
I really don't do anything different. I'm just out there. I'm just out there promoting. You just want to be out there promoting yourself so people see that you're actually doing some business. And then doing that, then you'll start getting some referrals coming to you. That's really what it is. And then besides, finding off-market deals, then you tend to get some capital, private money as well, because they see you're out there doing deals. They don't have the time and energy. They have the capital and they want to deploy it into some assets so they get a good return instead of just having it all in the stock market. Look at what happened today in the market. So they want to kind of deploy the capital everywhere.
Man, that's genius. I don't think, I'll be honest, I don't think that a lot of people really see the benefit of LinkedIn. Now in the commercial space, totally. In the business world, totally. because people go there to go and find out. So there's some cool things you could do on LinkedIn. Also, if you're out there networking, if you have a great LinkedIn profile, there's an easy QR code that they already have in there that you could just click the QR code button and you can meet people, and then they connect with you through LinkedIn. So when you go to certain networking groups, or when you go to certain connection stuff, especially within commercial groups and brokers, everybody has a LinkedIn profile, right? Where if you do more of a single family, or residential type stuff, yeah, single family, you're not going to see so much of that. You'll see more Facebook driven type stuff. And that's in my experience. I'm in the Houston metro market. We do some other markets outside of Texas, but that's pretty much what I've been seeing the most. Cool. All right. So what else do we have, Mark?
Well, actually, wholesalers, believe it or not, are actually a great source as well. Buying deals from wholesalers. You just gotta be selective. There's some great wholesalers, and then there's wholesalers that are just being super greedy where the numbers just don't make any sense. But if you find the right ones and really good ones, I have some that are so realistic, doing some high volume, that they're so realistic in their wholesale or assignment fee where it makes sense. So it has to be a win from everybody. When you're buying a property from the seller, it has to be a win for them. And if you're selling it to a buyer, it has to be a win for them. So even no matter where your source is, you're getting your referral source from, if it's a wholesaler or whoever it is, has to make sense. So it's a win for everybody instead of just being one-sided.
Got it. Yeah, that works. And so that's actually one of the key ways, if you're looking at finding properties where you can find them off market, is to do through wholesalers. Now, one of the things, how do you find wholesalers? Right? Same way. So you're going to go to the Facebook groups like we're doing right now. You're going to go to your communities. There's actually a group in a different state that we're looking at. And I was talking to my wife. I was like, what do you want to do? And she asked me a couple questions, like immediately go to that city and look up the real estate groups that are local in that city. Actually, that deal that I was talking about today, some guy went from outside the Houston metro area and found me through social media, through Facebook somehow, through a different group, not even my groups, not even this Power Play group. I guess I made a comment somewhere and he goes, hey, you seem like a likable person. I need some help with my portfolio. I just need to offload it. I had a stroke, or his wife had a stroke. So those type of things. So, okay, wholesalers. Now, to add into what Mark is saying, what you want to do is vet the wholesaler. And how do you do that? Right. So I guess that's a really good question to ask. Like, how do you vet a wholesaler? Well, look at their page, look at their company name. You can take their company name, plug it into Facebook, and see how credible they are. I got some really good friends here that have, they've been around for 10 years in a wholesale group. I would trust any deal that they send me. If I buy it from them, I know I'm going to get real information. Because the thing that I think people get concerned about is the non-refundable earnest money, right? They're going to drop $3,000 to $5,000 on a property to make sure that you're actual real buyer. You're not just tying up to lose time. That's really what they're doing. So how do you want to present yourself to a wholesaler, Mark?
How do I want to present they can come to me and I'll help them with the earnest money deposit if they don't have it. That's kind of one of the examples that I tend to do. I said, hey, you know what? This is my buy box. This is what I'm looking for. If you don't have that capital to put down, for whatever reason, reach out to me and I'll put the capital down for the earnest money deposit, and we can kind of work the deal that way as well. Hopefully that's what you're looking for.
Yeah. So you're saying you do that with other investors, or who do you do that with?
I do that with wholesalers too. Like if they're like, say it's somebody new that wants to get into wholesaling, and I will say, hey, why don't you start out with the wholesaling? Is less capital, and if you don't have that money for the capital for the earnest money deposit, reach out to me. We'll look at it, and we'll, whatever it is, I'll pay you whatever the amount is. It has to be within reason, without not being greedy. But I've actually done that before on several new people on the wholesaling. So I just give my buy box, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you give. So here's the other side of this. And for those who are looking for finding off market deals, you can give your buy box to a group of people, wholesalers or newer folks, newbies, and say, look, this is the stuff we're looking for. We can JV. I'll be happy to pay you a referral fee, or I'll pay you part of the deal. and we'll go through there, but it'll be my capital up front. So normally you tend to get the higher cut of the deal, or a bigger cut of the deal, I guess you could say. But yes, we do that. And it's actually a common thing to be doing nowadays. It's not uncommon, where there was a season where that was looked down upon. I don't know why. It makes total sense to me because we do it. But no, so here's another question was, if someone is looking to be a credible buyer to a wholesaler, what are some of the things that credible buyer to find those off-market deals to a wholesaler? What do they need to have?
Yeah, for the buyer, I agree with you on that one, because there's a lot of buyers out there that they're saying they're buyers, but they're not. We come across that all the time. Making sure that they have a deposit, earnest money deposit. That's one way. Checking them out as well, looking up their company name, looking them up. I go to LinkedIn, I do Google, I look at the state secretary, how long have they been in business, and just look at their social networking and see who they're related to. Most likely, when I say related to, meaning their colleagues and who they're, if they have a lot of other investors within their network. So the really good buyers, majority of them, are in the network. They have a lot of people. They're always constantly working with other people because, like today, I had a deal that came in. It really wasn't in my buy box, but it was a sweet deal, and I referred that over to somebody else that I know because I knew it was a good deal. But I just didn't want it. It was in Wisconsin. I just don't have good boots on the ground in that area. But that deal is going to cash flow about $800-900 a month, and it's only a $10,000 entry fee to get in that deal. And it's a duplex, so it's a great deal.
That
So
sounds like a great deal.
it is. It was almost too good to give up, but I just had too much going on to kind of go down that path at that time.
Totally.
So I'm just like, hey, here's a good deal. Why don't you run with it? That type of thing.
Let's go over that real quick. And I think that people think that I used to think this in the beginning is like when someone, because I didn't have any deals at the time. So it just baffled me how someone goes, listen, I got a lot of stuff going on right now. I don't have the time to take this on. Does this fit you? And someone told me this, and they probably was in front of a stage kind of like this. And I'm going, that's just baffled me. Like, why would you not have enough or have too much going on? And it is true that you can get to a place where your business is growing, you're doing really well, or you have your buy box and it's just on the outside of it. And you might be able to capitalize on it, but it's enough outside your buy box that it's going to take a little bit more effort than what you have right now, right? Where if you didn't have anything going on right now, you would probably tackle it. But now, and I think that happens as your business grows throughout different cycles. There's different stuff. There's certain areas of town that you're just like, I don't need to go over there anymore. I'm actually really busy in my area. And people do that as you grow, you figure out your niche. So how can someone capitalize or look at that? What is some phrase, Mark, that they need to be asking other investors to find off-market deals?
Well, I want to back up to that, what we're just talking about, that, when you have deals come in and you think it's still a good deal and it's really outside your buy box or outside your room, I've seen so many people, like investors, that, they know what their buy box is, but they end up going down that path and they end up spending so much time and energy on a deal that, like this example that I talked about, and they end up, the time and energy they put in that one deal, they could do 3 or 4 or 5 deals. So I'm sure you've seen that as well.
I was saying, I have done that. Actually, I've been that guy, and I was actually just doing a conference call with someone that was asking for some marketing advice. And, you guys DM me. I got tons of ideas that can help you build your business. And one of the things was, and this was for commercial, I'm like, you have to narrow down your buy box to where you can say no faster, because you have 100 leads coming in. And what happens is you can get overwhelmed thinking, I got to go through all these 100 leads. And you go, just name 3 things that pass your sniff test. Just 3 things. Does it fit the area, right? If it's single family, does it fit the area and structural, what you're looking for, right? So really simple. Are you only looking for slab? Great. Well, this is on piers. So just say no to everything that's not on piers, right? Or if it's, I don't know how to do mobile homes. Okay, well, stop looking at the mobile homes. Like maybe there's something here. If it's something that you don't want to do, don't put it in your list in the beginning, right? Until you feel confident doing it. So you take a couple things off your sniff test, and then now you got rid of 50 properties, right? And then you go to your second tier. Out of those 50 properties, does it fit whatever else, maybe the rehab, or maybe, anything else that really needs to fit your markers of what you're looking for. If you're looking for rentals or looking for cash, like flipping or wholesaling type deal, throw those in there. Or maybe it just doesn't fit any of those and you're looking for sub 2 type deals. Well, that's really easy to do, right? To go through your properties, Mark. Am I not wrong where you're going, okay, which one of these can I do seller financing, sub 2 deals? Can I do some type of creative structure? I mean, that goes from 100 down to 7 really fast.
Absolutely. And then you're not going to waste your time and energy on deals that's not going to make you any money. I mean, it will make you money. You just got to look at where your time and energy, where you can get the best results. Again, like I said earlier, you definitely go make some money in that deal, but the time and energy in that deal, where if you stay into your buy box, you can do 3-5 deals in that same amount of time as that one. We all been there. I've been there. I can admit it. I've been there as well. It's like, oh, this looks like a great one. I'd like to learn this one. I'm like, if you're at a place and you want to learn that other asset, if you will, that's outside your buy box, just plan on just spending a lot of time and energy in your other buy box. Business is going to sit on the side and suffer a little bit unless you have some other team members and partners that can kind of help you carry that.
So that goes into something that I want to talk about with finding off-market deals. Is learning how to track. And I think most people don't know this. So here's something pretty simple. If you're just getting started, there's a thing called Google Forms. So you go to Google, and in the top right corner, you scroll down a little bit, and there's a Forms button. And in that Google form, you can create anything in the world for you of what you want to track. We used to use this in the very beginning of our networking group. We would just have people click in the Google Forms. And you can have it set up to where whatever you like, how many calls you made today, how many seller calls did you make, how many direct to seller, how many broker calls, how many realtor calls. You can have it all set up and don't overwhelm yourself. You can also do how many offers did you send out, right? How many contracts did you get that day? And then you can look at the report, and at the end of a week, you'll see if you're really honored your time. If you're doing what you're saying you're doing, right? And then at the end of 2 weeks, you'll have a full blown, I know where my time's going. I know what I'm tracking. I know what I'm calling on. And then you can go to someone like me or like Mark and go, look, this is my spreadsheet. This is what I'm doing. Can you tweak this for me? And when someone does something like that, that's just music to my ears going, wow, you've done the work and you care enough. Let me help you go through it. And this is one of the highlights of, like, when I talk with people, I like to talk about what they have tracked, because you can tell who's putting in the work. But then you go, you know what? You have such a good return talking to wholesalers. Like, for whatever reason, you're better at it than the rest of the people that I've seen. I think you really need to hammer this place out a little bit more, because I'm seeing you're getting really good traction here, or you're getting really good at your PPC, or you're getting really good on your online marketing or your direct mail or these other things. And the tracking side, guys, in the very beginning, I used to not think it was that big of a deal. I was just in the beginning, I was just dropping money on mailers and postcards, and that was it. And then I would track the inbound, right? Overall, how much I sent out in the inbound, but not really the dollar amount. But guys, this is so key, because for me now, I know what's the best time for me to call my brokers and my sellers. What's the best time to do outbound sales? What's the best time to do calls? And I know, and some days I know I'm going to miss it. Let's say if it's best for me to make my calls within a certain type of marketing I do, let's say the best time is like at 10 o'clock. Okay. And then I have a busy day. My 10 o'clock's already booked. It's not that I don't make my calls. I just know what my returns normally are if I start making them after 2 p.m. It's just how it goes. But this is so key. And I think this helps with that 80-20%, that 80-20 rule, of going like, what's the 20% that's going to give you the 80% return? If you don't know how to do this, I think it's going to hurt you later on. One of the things that's helped me the most, Mark, and you've helped me with this, of going, allow this to create history so you can create your W's for later on down the road, right? And I know that you're good at tracking W's because you tell me like, hey, I got to win here, I got to win there. So, and then we can close out with that, because I know this is really important and we both got to hop off and value other people's time. Why is this so important with when you're finding these out market deals? Because it kind of looks like you're just shiny object syndrome all over the place, but you know your business really well. Why is this so important?
Just to know I just know my systems, and you have to have good systems in place. And I want to back up. You said something there a little while ago. If you're kind of new in real estate and you're kind of lost and you're not on the phone making calls and kind of building a network up and your referrals up, every day just make 5 phone calls to somebody new and just pick up the phone. If it's through social media, I'd highly recommend using social media, and send somebody, create a calendar link account and say, hey, here's my calendar, let's jump on a call, select a time that works for you. And then what happens is they're booking calls for you, so it's forcing you to be able to be on the phone and talking to people. So if you feel like you're in that situation where you're not making enough calls, and because you're not, and oh boy, I got to sit down today, I got to make calls, who am I going to make, blah, blah, blah. Well, go into social media, just start networking. Here's my calendar, select a time that works best for you, and then set up your calendar link, and then you're going to have 5-10 phone calls a day on your calendar. So you're going to be busy. And what will happen is you'll get too busy, so you have to start blocking times off. But that's a great way to start it. But I just wanted to throw that out there.
Game on. That's awesome. Guys, we're going to wrap it up. Hopefully this is a good one for you guys to just really put into action right away. We want to keep things to where it's practical and you could just put it to work. We want to see you successful. Contact us if you have questions for something else for us to hammer out. We'd be happy to do it even a different day of the week, just to do a 30-minute us brainstorming on how we can help someone build their business. So guys, we'll talk to you later. Peace.
Hey guys, bye.